Hello everybody. So I am working on making one of those button dangles like I just showed on that other book. For this particular book, I've had a few requests from people who have asked me how do I make them, and it's a really simple process, so I thought I would just share a little speed up video and do a little voiceover to explain my process. So you can use any kind of charm at the bottom. I happen to be into using these little tassels that I've gotten on AliExpress for really reasonable prices lately. And I was originally using baker's twine for the string, but it just wants to fray at the end and not poke through the holes as easy. And because the baker's twine happens to be a little bit fatter, it's really hard to fit it through all of the buttonholes, especially the small buttonholes if you have a needle on it. And so I've just found that using the waxed thread that's used for leather, sewing leather together, has worked really well for these. When I start putting on the buttons, I just thread it through 2 buttons, and so it's pretty secure on there. And you can see I have a pretty wide variety of buttons. I get these on Amazon, as well as the waxed thread on Amazon, and the wax thread is pretty reasonably priced. I think I paid $12 or $14 for 12 spools that look like that gray one there. And then the buttons range anywhere from $7.99 to $12 for a mixture, but you don't get to pick exactly what buttons you get, and you get a variety of sizes. Lately I've been getting these gigantic buttons. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I ordered green and I ordered blue, and they just came humongous. So I'm gonna have to think of some kind of project that uses, 2.5-inch diameter buttons. But anyway, for this one, I really tried to match it up to the paper that is on the cover. For my favorite color is Autumn, which is the name of that. You can see me pulling out the big buttons there, which is the name of this journal that I'm putting together today. And so I wanted browns and reds and blues and just a tiny bit of green and a tiny bit of yellow. And so to make sure that the more darker muted colors came out, the green and the yellow ended up being just small buttons that were in between bigger buttons. And you don't have to do it this way, but I really like it when it swells open and then goes small again. And when I first started, I wasn't doing that. I was just putting buttons on a string, and I thought that looked nice. But I started doing the swelling thing, and I really like the way that looks. There's some kind of fluid movement to the eye that comes with that, so I have kind of stuck with that method. But yeah, so this is just, I'm just making the button dangles today. I also include, when it does the swell and then shrink, I like to put a bead in the middle of it just to kind of decorate it, and then a pretty charm bead at the top. And so the one that I pick eventually says love on top, and then tie it onto the book with a little eyelet. So thank you for checking this out, and enjoy, and happy Saturday to everybody. And just to make a note, this is the day where we finally found out the conclusion to the election, and so it's nice to have all those questions answered, and I'm just feeling a sense of peace right now, knowing where we're going and what's happening, and coming to some kind of predictable point in our world. And I hope that you are feeling the same too. Enjoy, and thank you. Just wanted to drop back in and make the point that earlier I said I put this string through 2 buttons, and I really meant to say through 2 buttonholes on each of the buttons. That maybe have been obvious, but I just thought I wanted to clarify that real quick. every once in a while I like to just hold it up to the spine so I can see how many more buttons I should probably add. I like it to come right to the bottom and not dangle too much past the bottom, if even touching the bottom of the book. Mistake that I have made more than once is I have done all of my binding before using my crocodile to put an eyelet into the book so I can tie on whatever tassel or dangle that I'm going to use. And so I just wanted to make sure and give that little tip that this is the point where you want to make sure and do that before you have the pages sewn into your book. Otherwise you might end up chopping through your threads that you've sewn with. And these are another deal that I have found on Amazon, the eyelets, grommets, whatever you want to call them, and it's 10 bucks for 1,000 of them, which is a really good deal. And it's the bigger one, which I prefer to the little one. So I have silver. There she blows. Time to bind up the pages. Thank you again.